Whoa, lots of drumming here, lots of drumming here. John Fishman had a partner, and this was a very overlooked, I think, unknown show by me. Requested from channel member here, Ja Volunteer, an excellent recommendation. Going back to 1996, Hartford, Connecticut. Bob Gullotti sits in on the second set. But before we get to that, we will start over here on the first set. And look at it, this is a great looking whiteboard, except down here, I always got to blow it somehow. You know, the spacing's a little off, you know, I was noodling around a little bit, you know. Just couldn't pull together a perfect set. Phish can do it, but I can't. This is rift is bad. What's going on with this capital R? This T over here is huge. It's zero, really. You know, this isn't great. It's not bad. That would have been acceptable, and then this. Everything else looked really good, though, I think. You see here, I went with punch instead of the punch you in the eye initials. If I can critique my own whiteboard before we get started, I've wasted a minute. This is ridiculous. All right, so Punch You in the Eye, obviously one of the best openers they have. They follow that up with a Poor Heart. A little early in the show for Poor Heart, for my liking, but all right, I like Poor Heart. Doesn't take up too much time. Then AC/DC Bag. Maybe the highlight of the first set, possibly, but then they followed that up with Foam, actually. This little combo here, really nice. Probably the best part of the first set, for sure. Then got an acapella, Hello, My Baby. Then like a mid to late set, Character Zero. Felt a little weird. So I was ready to dig in and... you know, maybe it had a little less ass than a normal Character Zero might have here, or more likely over here. But all right, well, I like that it was just somewhere else than what we get used to today. Foam was played really sharp, I should say. And AC/DC Bag, it was just straight ahead bag, but just felt really good. And then the riff down here, you know, I'm still a little upset. I'm holding it against riff. I just wish they quit playing that song. Somehow I can't write the word rift. What's going on here? Where are you forced? It's like the R's falling. Is it a P? Is it a K? No, it's an R. I don't know what happened here. It's got an extra leg. So, okay, so they get through Rift. And then Theme from the Bottom, unusual. It felt like there was something missing from Theme from the Bottom here. It was nice, but, you know, not much of a build, not much of an explosion. You know, I don't know if they wanted to get in a Rockin' Antelope, ending the set that way. But something felt slightly off on what was really a pretty good Theme from the Bottom. So then we get Run Like an Antelope down here. And then over here is what was really interesting to me. You know, this was a nice set here and all, but I could have spent my life and not heard this, and I'd have been all right. Although it was good. Don't get me wrong. If you want to search it out and listen to the whole show, it's out there. Even some video, VHS era video on YouTube. Brother, you know, I'm starting to really come back around on Brother. Maybe it's just because, you know, in recent times, they don't play it a lot, and when they do, you know, it doesn't really just jump out at you. It's just like a really great song. It was like, wow, that was really fun. It was really good. It was really good song, man. I like this Brother. I did, though, you know. I don't know. So we're opening up both sets very strong. Gets things going. And then, like I said, Bob Gullotti sitting in on drums. And then, you know, they didn't get too crazy. You know, it didn't turn into a big drum fest over here. You know, this isn't Goose, all right? How many drummers does a band need? And then you get Trey on percussion. So, but the Yamar did. We got a little drum section at the end of the Yamar. And otherwise, you know, it's like, all right, it gets noticeable, but nothing too ridiculous here. The guy's kit, Bob's kit, was really small. Slid out there, and, you know, Fishman was down there, what's now Mike's side, Bob right next to him. And then the Tweezer jam starts to take off. We got no Tweezer reprise, but the end of Tweezer kind of felt a little reprisey a little bit. Trey really going up. After Trey got off of the percussion, that section was nice. We got the two drummers and Trey on percussion, similar to maybe what we got, like back in 2016, briefly for like maybe a tour or two. Maybe that year we were getting some gangbangs. They would all kind of go join Fishman, the Lumina involved. You know, I don't know whatever happened to that. That kind of came and went, and boom. So Tweezer kind of reminded me a little bit of that, except for, you know, it wasn't the same. And then we get Lizards here. The only part, it's about the only time maybe the two drummers I felt like was noticeable, and a little bit of like the real quiet, cool part in Lizards leading up to the Trey solo. Maybe felt a little, you know, and I mean, I don't know how much time Bob had to prepare for this, but just to sit in with this band can't be a walk in the park. And then a song like Lizards, you know, not that it was bad. He wasn't like butchering it or anything, but it just felt a little off, you know. Other than that, though, and then they get hot here, boom, boom. Lizard's still really good. Trey really just smoking back then on a song like that. That solo, too, man. Whew, maybe smoking, not the correct word there. But then Llama and Suzy Greenberg getting fired back up for this Slave. And then, man, kind of like in the Lizards, it's like once they were building and building. And once they hit that peak in Slave, it just kept going. And, man, they were just riding with it for several minutes. So A Huge Slave. And then we get back here, a little rock and roll boogie, like we got from Llama and Suzy with Julius, and a little more rock and roll boogie with Chalk Dust Torture. So, you know, I don't know much about Bob. I should have looked him up before I got into this. And we got some clapping on theme. Was that the deal? That what threw him off? Is that what was going on with that? You know, who claps for theme? What was going on in 1996 in Hartford, Connecticut? Well, job volunteered. Good call. Phish Hair Club member. I like it. It's pretty cool. Never probably would have heard this show. All right. Well, while we're out of here, I'm not going to waste a bunch of time and turn this into a 7.5-minute video. This is 2 today, and I was fired up for this show. We got 2009 coming up, August 14th, 2009. Don't quote me on that. Hold on, I'm going to go look so you can quote me. Ah, yes, it was in fact August 14th, 2009. No YEM, look at that. No YEM. Phew. I mean, I love YEM. It's arguably my favorite song, you know, their best song, if you could say that. But boy, show after show after show with a little Yemi. All right, we're out of here. I got to go. Boom. Thanks, guys. Job volunteer. Good call.